Cat5 Resources. Cindy attended Penn State University and obtained a certificate in supply chain management and logistics. With this certification and her prior work experience, she was promoted to Director of Logistics and Supply Chain Solutions at A1 Freeman, an agent for Specialized Transportation, Inc. In this position, she provided oversight for logistical needs of multiple Fortune 500 companies. Her outstanding ability afforded company-wide recognition, where she received many awards, including Top Producer and Top Achiever. In 2013, Cindy launched Cat5 Resources. She and her team are committed to the development and execution of unique business solutions. In 2013, Cindy received the 2012 Entrepreneur of the Year Award from the Southeast Texas Economic Development Foundation, an affiliate of the Greater Beaumont Chamber of Commerce. In her spare time, Cindy raises horses on her ranch, Skyband Ranch in Winnie, Texas. She also is the owner of the world-renowned cutting horse, The Animal. Let's bring to the stage Cindy Perez.
What's now being called Hurricane Sally is threatening the Gulf Coast and growing stronger by the minute.
The lower part of my waist if I were to get to that stop sign. There is now a flash flood emergency here in Pensacola.
Look, that makes me want to cry. Thank you. I wanted to play that video. Look, I am going to cry. I forget sometimes to be proud of myself and to be proud of my team. I'm supposed to come up here and talk about adversity, but I think I'm going to talk about perseverance instead. I'm going to give you all a little background about myself first before I talk about Cat5. I am a 1985 graduate of Thomas Jefferson High School. And when I say that, I say it lightly because I did not know if I was going to graduate until the day before graduation. I never went to school. I skipped school. I made horrible grades. Hence, I was this far from not graduating. I had 21 jobs before I started Cat5. I got fired 12 times, and I'm grateful for every firing, every job I had. I made a few notes about my jobs. I don't know if anybody remembers Gulfway Drive, Bonanza. My first job was taking care of the salad bar at Bonanza. When I talk about perseverance, and I'm not proud of this, but like my granny would say about being hard-headed, she was never proud to admit that. I've been married 3 times, and my third one was an abusive relationship. And I'm telling y'all that because it's Domestic Violence Month, and that's part of my story. That rolled into another part of my life, which was addiction. I spent time in a rehab. This is my first time to say this publicly, so it's a little emotional. I've been surrounded by amazing women in my life. My grandmother was one of them, and she would always say, put God first. And that's the story that you just told. I have been blessed with so many things that have brought me to this point. I'm grateful for every experience I've had and the surroundings of people that have come together to create what I call my proudest moment, and that is Cat5 Resources. Besides my son, who's also my proudest moment. I want to tell y'all a story about how I got started in that. And I know I only have 20 minutes, so if I go over, y'all got to do this to me. I spent 14 years in logistics and transportation. And I did everything for Nextel Partners. I don't know if y'all remember the walkie-talkies, the push-to-talks. So in 2004, Hurricane Charlie came in, and they said, Nextel called, and we had been building all their cell towers. And they said, hey, can you get flatbeds and bring 800 generators into Florida? And we were like, sure. I had 13 girls that worked for me at the time. And they were like, yeah, we can do that. So we all went to work. I flew to Atlanta, made sure everything got loaded. And I got a call from a lady named Cindy Smith, and she said, hey, can you, I know this is off the wall, but can you get us some fuel for these generators? And I said, sure, my dad works at a refinery in Port Arthur, Texas. I'm sure we can get some fuel somewhere. So I called my dad, and I don't know exactly what his response was, but he was like, no, honey, you can't just go get fuel from the refinery. You need to go another route. So hence, I started making phone calls, and, everything falls into place for a reason. Everything I've gone through in life that got me to this point, at the time I was thinking, why am I here? Why am I going through a divorce? Why am I, getting fired again? I was never a good, I'm going to call it, let's see what my grandmother would say. I have a hard head. I don't like when things are asked of me and I say I can't do them. I don't want to be that person. I have made my way through in a male-dominated industry. I'm very proud to say that Cat5 is a woman-owned business, and we're the only ones that are women-owned who do what we do. And I don't think about it this way, and that's why I get emotional about it, because I don't think about all of our accomplishments. The majority of my women that work for me do not have college degrees. And I say that because I think part of being successful is learning to surround yourself with people who are smarter than you. And my HR department's always like, we got to find somebody with this degree or that degree. And I was like, I barely graduated high school. I have the smartest people around me that with no degrees that have been through some horrendous times. But you know what? I would go to war with them any day. I would walk into war right now with all of them. Some of them are sitting right here. I'm very proud of all of them. So I wanted to bring that up about the women working for me and stuff, because there's a lot of men who, I don't know if they're scared to come work for us because there's so many women involved or or what, but they make things happen. And when I say they make things happen, y'all saw the video. After 2004, everything, went into play. Divorce, abuse, all this stuff went into play, and I ended up walking away from everything, and I started Cat5 in 2013. And since I've started Cat5, Before that, I'd worked every storm since 2004, just on a small scale. But since we started Cat5, we worked every major storm, um, including Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico. And during Puerto Rico, we had over 350 guys from the States on the island. We had a ship that came in that housed people. It was unreal. Now that thinking about it, it's not, the reality doesn't really ever set in with me. Maybe because I'm too busy out doing and never take time to sit back and say, hey, you should be proud of what you've accomplished. But I am, and I'm so proud of my team. The Cat5 people, they've learned along the way with me to deal with, and I know that women in business deal with this all the time, but whenever you're in a male, I want to say, my dad's sitting here, so I'm going to try not to, because he's been one of my biggest supporters. It's hard sometimes to navigate through any business because the majority of people we deal with are men. And when I say that, it's easier for me to get up in front of 500 guys out in the field and stand up on a stage and talk to all of them about safety and what we need to do to go get this done and that done. It's hard for me to stand up here and talk to you guys and not be nervous about it. But I think that the adversity part of what we deal with as women, I've learned over the years, and my dad taught me this too, it's better to listen than it is to talk. And every time I would go into a boardroom with executives, CEOs, I've been in places I never thought, you know, coming from Port Arthur, Texas, barely graduating high school, whatever, sit in a boardroom with the, you know, CEO of T-Mobile and, you know, all the big wigs from Verizon and everybody else, but it's usually me and all men. I'm the only woman in there. But what he taught me about sit and listen and don't say anything has taken me a long way, dealing with all the situations I've been put in. So whenever y'all go out, I guess I want to leave the message with, and I don't even know how long I've been talking. Am I still good? Look, my sister's down there going, yes. Whenever y'all go out and talk, it's been one of my sit and listen where I learn everything. So whenever I'm in a boardroom with men and they ask me something, I know my stuff and I'm very confident about it. I know things that they don't know. I know how to get things done that they don't know how to get things done. They call us for the craziest things. Can you get a helicopter to fly fuel to a volcano in Hawaii? Yeah, we can do that. But my team laughs because they know. I'm the one I don't say no to my customers at all. If there's a will, there's a way. We'll figure it out. It's going to cost you a bunch of money, but we'll figure it out. And I think it's one of my other things I wanted to tell y'all about is dealing with corporate structure. I think the reason that I got fired all those times is because I have a hard time dealing with corporate structure and not being able to get things accomplished. I think it's really hard for, not just for women, but in general, when you're in a corporate structure, to be able to get things accomplished. And I think that's why the big carriers call us to do what we do, because their corporate structure is so convoluted. And I try really hard not to let Cat5 get that way. And so far we haven't, knock on wood. And as long as I'm here, we won't. But navigating and finding a specialty, if you are looking into going into business, think out of the box. Try to figure out, you know, the corporate structure, what they can't get done, I can get done, you know, make it happen. It's, I've learned there's nothing that's impossible. I don't think we've been asked anything in the last 9 years that we haven't accomplished, whether that be rescuing people during storms or, you know, delivering a plane full of equipment. I'll tell you this real quick before I stop talking. During Maria, there was nothing left in Puerto Rico, and they called and they're like, you can't get in the airport, you can't do this. I don't know if y'all watch the news or not, but whenever the Ukraine was attacked by Russia, they blew up a plane that's an Antonov, and it's the world's largest plane. Well, during Maria, my team chartered that plane, and we were the second plane after Maria to land on that island. And that's a very big accomplishment for the whole group. But when people, you know, it's the little things, not always the big things, but just saying there's got to be a way to do it. Where there's a will, there's a way. And my grandmother always told me, and I have a little list I'm going to leave with y'all. She always repeated, put God first, no matter what. So this is what I'm going to leave y'all with. Life as a teacher, and this is her notes, or actually my notes from the videos I made of her, but put God first. You can never outgive God. Be forgiving. Laugh every day and laugh at yourself. Be an overcomer. Give more than you get, and that's a big one. Me and my team, we give way more than we get. And every time we go into a storm, to me, that's our biggest accomplishment, is giving back to the communities. Don't give up if you know something is right. God puts you in the valley so you can see the mountaintop. Love everyone. Never give up on family. God blesses and takes away. Own up to your mistakes and be grateful. So, I want to thank y'all for letting me get up here and ramble. I think my time is up. 5? Oh, I got 5 minutes. I'm going to stand up here and talk some more. No, I'm not. We're running behind. I'm gonna stop talking now. So, thank y'all for listening and having me. And y'all go out there and don't give up. Find something creative to do, and sit back and listen and learn, and do whatever it takes. If you have the ambition inside of you, don't let anything stop you. So, thank you.